Hi, I'm Rhonda Farrah. Welcome to my show, Fix Your Reflection First. I have had a wealth of life experiences, both good and bad, like everyone, and the one thing I have learned is that I am wholly responsible for the results. As I have evolved to liking the person I see in the mirror, my life has changed for the better, and that is what I help those that I coach do too. Please tune in every week as I will coach folks, listen to stories of success, and give you the tips and tools I have learned to make sure what you see is something you love and help you fix your reflection first. Welcome to Fix Your Reflection First and Live Your Best Life Ever. I'm your host, Rhonda Farrah, and this is Transformation Talk Television Radio Network, and we are glad that you're here. Our program, Fix Your Reflection First and Live Your Best Life Ever, is dedicated to awakening minds, hearts, and most especially spirit to our innate power from within, our authentic power from within, the power to thrive and not merely survive. So wherever you are in your life, if you are not living the life that you want to be living, the life that you desire, perhaps the life that you dream about, you have come to the right place. So very happy that you joined us today as we together explore how we may be more mindful and make better choices to living the best version of ourselves ever. And today we have special guest Rosalia Quintana. And let me tell you a little bit about Rosalia. Rosalia is a nurse practitioner, a spiritual leader, an author, a speaker, and breathwork facilitator. She specializes in quantum alchemy, psycho-spiritual therapy, and trauma transformation, spiritual awakening integration, and the subconscious mind through her method, the zebra healing, alchemy, and transformation method. Amongst other courses and certifications she provides through her platform, quantumalchemistmaster. And she's been featured in Mystic Mag, Shout Out Miami, and more. So over the last 6 years, she has successfully treated professionals from all backgrounds, athletes, doctors, attorneys, first responders, and those suffering from addictions, as well as their trauma, so they can take that and be the best version of themselves. Today, Rosalia will share her incredible journey from poverty, a near-death experience, to following her soul's mission and working with people to transmute and transform their trauma. Welcome, Rosalia.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you, Rhonda. It's a pleasure to see you again.
Yeah, likewise. So when we first met and you invited me to be your guest on your podcast, I said, this is definitely a sign. This is a God thing, because she's an alchemist and I'm an alchemist. So what better approach? And then we took it from there. Again, here we are. So quantum alchemy, I have my own version of that, which we've discussed. Tell us what that is exactly.
Yeah. So the name for my platform, Quantum Alchemist Master, came to me through a meditation. My guides provided that for me. I actually bickered a little bit about it because it sounded like I was the master. I said, that's not going to work because it's just too, and they said, no, it's because you're empowering others to become their own quantum alchemist masters of their own life, of their own transformation. So it's reminding them to take full responsibility for their life, for their own alchemy process, reminding them to look within for answers, for transformation. So really just a lot of the remembrance and reminding that I myself have been through my own journey when I was looking outside myself for all these answers and all these clues that really just, it was like a mace, led me right back in to my heart, to my remembrance and my connection to my soul, my guides, and all the stuff that's within.
Yes. How does the near death experience work in all this?
Yeah. My near death was in 2022. Since 2018, I had been at my lowest low, like just looking. I mean, I was suicidal, depressed. Despite having outside success, in, as a nurse practitioner, etc., and material wise, coming from poverty, like you mentioned, that seemed like a wonderful achievement, right? Like the pinnacle of the carrot I was going after. And then once I reached that carrot, it kind of like lost its charm, right? I said, no way. I mean, what else is there then? Like, it can't possibly, this can't be it. And I just spiraled down into a deep, deep depression. And I started just looking outside. I went through a lot of different religions, looking for answers, different energy work, breath work, yoga, movement. I mean, just whatever I could get my hands on, pretty much Akashic records and things like that. And it was all great. All of those tools have served me. I share a lot of those tools with my clients today, but really didn't really hit me, I guess, if you would say, until 2022 when I had my near death, where it was very difficult. Initially, my near death, it was very scary for me. It was not all sunshines and rainbows. I went through a lot of darkness, a lot of scary things, a lot of my fears I was confronted with, a lot of guilt, shame, and all the unresolved things that I had in my consciousness at that point that I was where I was vibrating at, if you want to say that. There's no escape just because in my opinion, if you take your life, there's really no escape. You're at that level of consciousness. You're going to have to work through it, whether you do it here in the physical world or you do it in the spirit world. So that was very intense. I had to go through all that, but eventually I did came to a point of the journey where it was also very beautiful. And I was reminded, I was able to see my higher self, my soul, God, and just different things where it was this profound love and no judgment at all. Um, and just of being of service in general. Um, and just loving myself, accepting myself, having a lot of compassion for myself, but also for other people. So that transformed my life, I guess you would say, the most. Even though I had worked with plant medicine and so many other things were hugely valuable, and I honor them and respect them, but nothing quite like that, really. And then once I came back, it was not because I wasn't given a specific blueprint, right? It was just like this knowing of this essence of pure love and oneness, right? But then how I was going to implement that or when or the specific clues, none of that stuff I was able to bring back, right? So it's just that a very deep trust that there's a divine plan, unfolding before us. So it's just a lot based on faith, on love, on trusting that everything is happening for you, right? So it's been quite the journey, and things have been unfolding in their own timing, because I also see that it has to do with the lessons in the journey for me. Like what I do now with my clients, I could not have shared that a year ago or 2 years ago, or because I was not there. I had not gone through those trials or those things. And I'll share something even more vulnerable than that. I was pretty stuck, or what it for me was stuck. I felt like I had done a lot of progress, or what I consider progress inside of myself, but reflected outside in the material world, I felt like I was stuck or reached a threshold, right? Um, and then I went into meditation and I asked, well, why isn't the needle moving, right? And they said, well, for the last 6 years, you've been learning these 7 virtues, and they named them each one. And then I learned, if you want to say like the negative aspect and the positive aspect, just to call it something, like the polarity of each of those virtues.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, wow. So it wasn't never even about what I thought it was all about. Like, I'm like, what do you mean? I've done all the inner work I was supposed to do, and I've been diligent, and I've been doing all these things. And it wasn't even about that, right? So it's just a lot of things that the great mystery that I don't understand, but it's that deep trust, you know? So, yeah.
So you literally left the physical plane, so to experience. Your guide said, no, you're not going anywhere. You have work to do. And so I'll use the word, you survived a near death experience.
Yeah.
And how did you feel about that? I mean, you wanted to end it, but you're back.
Yeah. A lot of mixed emotions. Like I told you, at the initial point of the experience, I was completely terrified because I didn't understand what was happening to me. And I was very angry at God. I actually told God infinite profanities in Spanish. Why all the suffering, the poverty, I mean, you name it, all the things in my life, I blame them for all of it. I didn't take any responsibility and I was just going at it. And there was a point where God placed his hand here on my shoulder. And then at that point, I was able to understand it. And this just bliss and love came to be, right? So after that, I'm still integrating what happened. I still don't quite comprehend everything that happened. It is out of my little piece of consciousness is so small in comparison to that experience that I'm still trying to piece it together and just making sense of it all. After that, I reached out to everybody I knew, all my teachers, shamans, medicine women, psychologists, psychiatrists, everybody. I said, okay, here's what happened. Help me make sense of this. Like, how do I now, am I crazy? How does this even happen? And then I started listening to other near death experiencers. I'm like, okay, so it happens to more people. This is okay. And I kind of started going deep into the experience and trying to ground it in. I don't know if that's the word to try to comprehend it at some logical level. Yeah.
You made it work for you. As any good alchemist will do, we take that not so good stuff and let it serve us versus anything less. So on a scale from 1 to 10, did you ever think you'd be doing this work?
Never, never. I was completely evaded me. I had no idea. Never. No.
Okay, but now that you are doing this work, you are helping others transform and transmute that not so good stuff that we all have. None of us are immune to it, even though it's, our life calling and the work that we do. So, how do you feel about all of it now? Do you feel any regrets for having gone through it?
Absolutely not. I feel that for me to be able to understand my clients, which have become my friends, they're to me more than clients. I had to go through those things. I had to live it. I had to feel it. I had to go through it myself. So I know exactly what it feels like. And to be able to share what has worked and what hasn't worked from my end. The goal of everything I do is to help them remember how to connect with their soul, their higher self, to look within, different tools and techniques to do that, so that hopefully after those 90 days, they won't need me other than for a consultation or getting on a call as friends and checking up on each other and things like that. But it's like all of that lives within you, right? You have access to all of that at every moment. It's just a matter of maybe using me as a mirror to remind you how to do this.
Okay. What is the zebra approach? That's your technique. An interesting name. Tell us about the zebra method.
Sure. So I was actually asleep, and I had a very lucid dream with my third eye open, color, shape, sacred geometry, all of these things. And they said, you're going to be doing the zebra method. I said, I don't even know what that is. What is that? So it was like a download, right? I started writing it down as much as I could. And then I'm like, but I don't even know how I'm going to develop this or how I'm going to do this. And then little by little, I guess over the course of a year or so, it started to make sense. Like, okay, you're going to piece this here, piece this here. This is how you're going to do the first session, second, third. Like, it's 6 sessions over 90 days with supporting audios, and you learn how to open your Akashic records, how to access them, how to speak to your guides. It's like a whole thing. You go into working with ancestral medicines and to like all this remembrance, basically, and opening, broadening up your level of consciousness with your essence. It's always been there. It's just, I guess, my way of doing it, and maybe it resonates and it helps you, and gives you clarity, gives you more information. And I love that everything that comes through is not me telling you, it's you telling me. So I'm learning from your soul, which is, to me, mind-blowing. I'm like, wait, hang on, let me take notes. What did you say? Repeat that for me. So I'm really learning all along with my clients. So it's not me telling you how to live your life or how to fix your life. All the information is coming through you. You're seeing it, you're feeling it, it's all you. I'm just accompanying you because I've done it so much, kind of like working through the realm so that you can get where you need to get and get the information that you need.
So you're helping others identify their authentic power from within.
Yeah.
And being brave and courageous enough to utilize that to live their best life that they can be living at any given moment. That's not a destination, your best life. That's the process that we're always moving towards.
Correct.
Incredible. It's like, well, I shouldn't say incredible because I've witnessed it myself and I advocate it. And I pray that more people will access their authentic power from within. Look within instead of all around you. Well, we're going to take a short break, and then we're going to come back and talk with Rosalia some more about accessing that authentic power from within. Are you ready to utilize that authentic power within each one of us, regardless of situation, circumstance, or event? Learn to truly live the life you desire. Tune in to Transformation Talk Radio every first and third Monday at 3 p.m. Pacific Time with Rhonda Farrah, host of Fix Your Reflection First and Live Your Best Life Ever. Learning to fix your reflection first is the place to start to learn, experience, and express that which is truly attending to the agenda of your soul and nothing less. For more information, visit helpmerhondanow.com. Welcome back to Fix Your Reflection First. And we are speaking with Rosalia Quintana right now. And she is an alchemist, and she utilizes the zebra method with her clients to help them access that authentic power from within, which we all have, and live their best life ever. No, regardless of the trauma, the suffering, the challenge, the struggles they're facing. So welcome back, Rosalia.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Rhonda. I appreciate you again.
You're very welcome. So let's talk about your clients. Okay, and it's quite a list because those are all people, I named some of them, that have been through trauma and suffering and challenge. As a matter of fact, I have a nephew who's a first responder who went through all of that with COVID, before COVID, during COVID, now after COVID. So trauma. Tell us about trauma. Do people know they're in trauma and then they consult with you? Talk to us.
I'll tell you. So most of my clients are referrals. A lot of people are from the healthcare field because I'm a nurse practitioner. So I do still supervise different clinics, and people know that I do this kind of work. So I would say 90% of my clients are referrals. The rest pretty much, from social media and things like that. But I work with a lot of people that are in rehab clinics, 12-step programs. I work with people that have gone through addiction or are still going through addiction, suicidal ideations, mental health issues. Um, and they're all at different stages of their life. And I think we all have trauma if we really, really dig deep into it, right? Major or minor trauma. Um, so it's really just helping them look within and use what happened to you just as stepping stones, really like how any alchemist would, right? Whatever elements you're dealing with in your life, trying to transform that into the gold. But it takes a lot of courage, right? So a lot of my clients, I do an interview, and if they're not willing or they're not able to, if they're not an 8, 9, or 10 able and willing to change and work and do the things, because these things take work. I'm not, I show up 50%, but you have to show up 50% as well. So if we're not quite there yet, and I have turned down quite a lot of people because I don't perceive that they're in a stage, they're still denying I'm okay. I don't have any issues. I know everything. And I'm with this type of attitude, I need help. We all need help. Even us, we have coaches that coach. So it helps to see another perspective, especially when we're doing inner work. You have to take full responsibility. I'm not there to carry the book bag, for you, the weight of your entire trauma of your life, as much as it pains me to see you in pain. That's not what we're here to do. We're here to take full responsibility and really go within. Going within takes a lot of courage. It could be very scary, especially if you have mental health issues. There could be schizophrenia, neurosis, a lot of things, especially when we're going into the subconscious mind and where we're going into different dimensions, when we're going into connecting with your higher self, your guides, and all of this new realm or expansion of consciousness that was not in your awareness before. So, we do go, just because I do have a healthcare background, I go through a very extensive health questionnaire. And we make sure that that you know what you're getting yourself into, basically. And that you're at that stage in your life where you're able and willing, and you really do want to do this type of work. So it all varies. Like I said, we work with all different levels of trauma. I work a lot with first responders, with vets, with people that have been in police officers. Those are mostly kind of like a lot of my clients right now.
Okay. Is this done individually or in groups?
Individually. We get together for 6 sessions during 90 days. You have your own folder where it's confidential, just you and I. And in there, I put supporting audios. A lot of those audios are personalized with what comes in through the session from your higher self, from your guides. So we use a lot of the same information that downloaded and came forward to give you that same support and kind of create something that is tangible or blueprint or something that you're able to take action on, basically, and really take advantage of what came forward for you.
So I'm guessing it's all ages that you deal with.
All ages, and English and Spanish as well.
English and Spanish. And would you say primarily your clients are men, women, a balance?
They're half and half. They're half and half. Yeah. They're half and half, yeah. I was thinking I was going to have more women when I first started this. But no, I mean, it's been half and half.
Do you have a particular success story you'd like to share?
Yes, I have a client. I'll do 2 and I'll make them brief. I'll speak about a client. She was in such a depression that she couldn't get out of bed. She couldn't shower. She couldn't take her kid to school. It was that bad. So somebody like that, you can't just coach them and say, hey, get to work, do the act, create a morning routine and take your action. And it doesn't work. We have to learn how to regulate your nervous system and go baby steps and things like that. So we did a lot of work from a completely different approach, right? So this zebra method is, even though there's a protocol to it per se, it's you can mold it depending on what the person's going through, right? So for her, I had a lot more personal attention, I will call her up and say, all right, come on, let's go. Get up, take a shower. Let's do it together. Come on. And really kind of baby her through all the steps. And then I would have her just check in with me via text. All right, I did this, I did that. And really just, and really start to regulate her whole nervous system first. So that if she had a panic attack, she knew how to regulate it. If she was having anxiety or whatever, let's work on that first. And then we build up from there. She's doing great. She's been back to her home country. She was afraid of flying. She didn't want to do anything. She didn't want to get out from the house. She takes her kid to school. She's seen her graduate, and just all these beautiful things that she was not able to do. Just activities of daily living, like things that are so basic that you wouldn't even think someone would have difficulty with, right? So, you know, I coach somebody like that with suicidal ideations, depressions, all the way to, you know, high performance leaders that want to go to the next steps and want the next download for their business, for example, right? So I'm still working with a client of mine, and I would say he's an artist, urban music artist, and he was dealing a lot with addiction, suicide, depression, all of these things, and he had to stop doing music. And he was just on these nervous system wise in a freeze, right? He just wasn't able to do what he normally would do. And then little by little, we started to build from there. He had a very close friend, like a brother, that died. And that's what just really sent him down the spiral. So, you know, and that person kept coming up in dreams and really hunting him per se. So we had to do a lot of work with that specific trauma or event that happened in his life, until that subsided. And then we were able to go to the next step and the next step. He's back to doing music. He's fine. Prior to that, he had been hospitalized twice, and he had been on medications for mental health, and all of that's gone. He's on no meds. He's back to doing his thing, and he's thriving. And we're still working together. I said, don't, you know, let's just finish up our sessions, even though you've gotten better. Let's just make sure you have a good solid foundation after you're finished with me, and then you kind of know what to do when certain triggers come up, when certain life situations come up, you know how to handle it. So yeah.
Wonderful. That's wonderful. So you'll give them a tune-up if they come back and say,
yeah, for sure. I check in with them every 90 days for a year, up until the year anniversary of their program. Just as friends, checking in. We have that 1 hour, and they could use it however they want. You know, they could get some clarity, or go deep into a meditation, or whatever, or just talks as friends. It doesn't matter, you know, but I do follow up with them. I think most of my clients are really my friends. It has just turned out that way. They're no longer like just my clients.
All right. In this episode description, we will detail you're offering a free call, a free session, like a talk it out thing. And that will be for our viewers and our listeners. You can find that in the episode description. And you can find all Rosalia's information in there as well. But Rosalia, give us your website while we're here together.
Sure. The website is quantumalchemistmaster.com, but the best way to reach me is via Instagram at quantumalchemistmaster.
Okay. All right. Wonderful. Well, this has been a great show. And again, a pleasure speaking with you about the power from within. So in closing today, I will remind all of us that regardless of struggles or challenges, we have the opportunity to choose to let all of it serve us rather than anything less, whatever it is. So whatever tunnel you happen to be traveling down these days, the light at the end of it is not a train. That light is the way, it's the guidance, it's the opportunity to move forward and be the best version of yourself. So thank you for joining us. Thank you, Rosalia. Look her up. She's a wonderful person. And just look her up and take advantage of her free gift. So I'm Rhonda Farrah, and you have been listening to Transformation Talk Television Radio Network. So until next time, have a very healthy and a happy day, a beautiful day every day. And as always, I invite you to treat life as if it were ice cream and enjoy it before it melts. Thank you for joining us today. Bye for now.
You.
You're welcome. I'm Rhonda Farrah, and you have been listening to Fix Your Reflection First. Tune into Transformation Talk Radio every first and third Monday at 3 p.m. Pacific Time for success stories of folks I have coached. I will be sharing more of my tips and tools that you can use to love the person you see in the mirror and how to fix your reflection first. Live your best life ever by choosing to be bold and courageous, even if it means getting out of your comfort zone. To connect with me, visit helpmerhondanow.com.